the other senators who are joining us via Zoom at this busy time. A question was raised by Senate staff about line 27 on the
Yeah, the Republicans are back now. They're out of recess.
So welcome everybody. This is AmericaTV.me, powered by you. We are tracking the Minnesota Legislature E12 Conference Committee session that's going on live right now. And with me is Dr. Jon Peterson, who's been tracking some issues. Dr. Peterson, could you give us an update? What you've been, what's some progress here?
Yeah, so what I can tell you folks is that originally the Senate target, the proposal that they had put out prior to the conference committee really starting was $30 million for a literacy program. I think it's called Bold Literacy. The House had put together a much more comprehensive package of proposals. On Monday, the governor, the majority leader, and the speaker struck a deal and set the target for E12 at $1 billion. And so what's been happening over the past 4 days is that the Senate and the House have been trying to come to a point of compromise about how to spend that $1 billion. And so one of the big pieces that is an area of focus is addressing the special education cross subsidy, which we know in Minnesota is very high. We do not allocate enough resources to school districts to pay for the costs of special education. And then another key piece that MNEEP has been involved in heavily is the funding of English learners, students who speak English as a second language. And so we've seen a significant investment in the proposal over the next 2 years for both special education cross subsidy and EL cross subsidy. There are also significant supports for mental health needs for students in E12, as well as a number of provisions that address culturally responsive learning, in addition to the literacy pieces.
So it looks like the House, the committee is ready to start again. And anything else that what about a little while ago, there was some testimony about mental health needs of our youth. And can you give us an update what happened there?
Yeah, so, there's pretty strong bipartisan agreement that we need to do a better job of funding schools and districts to provide for the mental health needs of students in E12. And I don't remember the specific targets that they set, but they did put in a proposal to help bolster the amount of support based on a funding perspective that local education agencies will receive as a result of state funding for mental health. I know that there have been visits to various mental health collaboratives that are in schools, like Minneapolis Edison High School. I know that the commissioner and the governor recently visited that school. So just generally, just needing to recognize that coming out of this pandemic and pre-pandemic, that the mental health needs of students are as yet still very much undiagnosed and unmet. And this seeks to address that.
Have you been tracking the Teachers of Color legislation or the request?
I have. I believe that proposal in the House offer is around $8 million for teachers of color investments. There's a number of investments that are kind of in that same arena. I don't remember exactly what they are. I have a copy of the spreadsheet, but I don't have it pulled up in front of me. Obviously they went through a list of the budget targets and allocations for each of these different areas. Another piece that they're talking about pretty significantly is MTSS, multi-tiered systems of support.
Yeah.
And there is funding in there as well. And they're also talking about transportation sparsity, especially as it relates to rural Minnesota. So increasing the revenue developed from transportation sparsity.
So all these are currently in the conference committee bill?
They are in the conference committee bill proposal from the House of Representatives. And so now the House chair, Chair Jim Davney of Minneapolis, I believe he's District 63A, or at least formerly District 63A. It might be redistricted to something different now. I don't recall where Minneapolis landed, South Minneapolis. But yes, and so now they are waiting for the Senate to provide their feedback on, I don't know if it's the original proposal that the House gave to the Senate from 2 days ago, or if it's a response to what the House presented today. I'm not clear on that. I know that Senator Chamberlain has not been attending these meetings this week. He was at the meeting on Monday and then was not present thereafter. And so it's been a little bit challenging to get some clarity on the Senate side as to how they're responding to these proposals. Again, you have to remember the Senate proposal a month ago and just up until this last Monday was a $30 million proposal. And so 30 million versus a billion is a rather large bridge to divide and compromise upon.
So none of these three areas important to the community that you mentioned now, teachers of color, mental health needs, support systems, language, cross subsidy, right?
Mm-hmm.
None
That's
of them on the Senate bill.
The special education cross subsidy is something that the Senate now fully supports.
Oh,
So I believe what I heard them say a couple days ago, this would have been on Tuesday or Wednesday, at the meeting after the House, presented their proposal. The Senate responded with, "Well, why don't we spend the 30 million on the Bold Literacy program, and then spend the vast majority of the remaining $1 billion on mental health supports and the special education cross subsidy." And you also have to remember, too, that this is only the finance side of the proposal. There is a policy side of the proposal that the House has as well, which has a number of really nice provisions as it relates to being more culturally responsive to the needs of Indigenous, American Indian, students of color, um, ensuring that state mandate says that if you're American Indian and you want to wear your American Indian regalia at graduation, you are legally allowed to do that. Because right now, that's not the case. So as an example, yeah, there's a number of really nice. There's a proposal amount for $1 million for the network of descendants of children of and descendants of African descent. There's also a provision in there for the Carey Institute from the University of Minnesota, as well as BAR, a building assets program out in St. Louis Park. So there's a variety of things. The big thing that the House proposal most recently did is they increased their offer on the special education cross subsidy. Well, here we
so it
are.
looks like something is going on. So let's see if we can get uh, uh, um, what's going on in the committee.
Sure.
We'll circle back again.
Sounds good, Bruce.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. Just hang on a bit. I'll
Yep.
put the other one
24, 48 hours to provide you a couple of different offers to include a counter. I would expect that he and the team will continue to do the same and meet the same sense of urgency that you have displayed as well.
Senator Duckworth, thank you for that. I do feel a need to remind the Senate that the second offer that we received from the Senate to the target was the exact same fiscal offer as the first offer we received from the Senate. That's not demonstrating progress. That's not demonstrating bargaining in a way that moves us towards agreement. And I think fair for the public to be aware of that. On the unemployment insurance exclusion that currently exists in state law that discriminates against school hourly workers unfairly, including the way it's currently drafted, some school hourly workers qualify for unemployment insurance and others do not. Imagine working side by side with someone, both of you receiving a pink slip, both of you being available to work, both of you being actively out looking for work, and one of you gets access to some unemployment insurance compensation to help bridge you through that period of unemployment, and the other one does not.
Mr. Chair, if I may.
Senator Duckworth.
So in terms of making progress, I agree, and I guess my opinion would be a new offer that includes that. I don't think is maybe necessarily a step toward making progress. It's something completely new that's coming into the mix. And I would also say, imagine being one of those workers. I understand. Right now, I'm imagining being a school board member. I'm imagining being a superintendent. I'm imagining being a parent, a teacher, a kid, knowing that there's an offer on the table to fund the special education cross-subsidy for $950 million, something that folks have been crying out for years. And I'm imagining them watch that slip through our fingers when we have the ability to make that deal today.
Well, Senator Duckworth, if you were a school teacher or a student or a parent, you would also be recognizing the need for mental health and wellness services in schools. You would also be recognizing that we short English language learners and have for many years in our funding system, even though they are clear, the need for mental health and wellness gap that we have a shared services in schools. You would also be recognizing that we short and that English language learners and have for many years in our funding system, even though teaching and learning, as well as recognize the need to treat all workers with dignity and respect, because they provide a valuable service to us. We've had school board members testify in support of this provision from Fridley and my old stomping grounds in Buffalo, testifying that they are in support of this provision. It has passed the House several times. It has been debated extensively in the Workforce Committee. This legislature should be about solving problems. And the only way the opportunity presented us slips through the fingers is if the Senate continues to delay. So I'm hoping this afternoon we will receive, with a sense of urgency and an obligation to the people of Minnesota, to find common ground and move closer. We will hear from the Senate. We have provided a framework that looks like what an agreement can look like, providing you, respecting the priorities that the Senate has already identified, respecting those, while also providing additional flexibility for the Senate to choose, as it will, other priorities or enhancing those priorities. But it requires a sense of urgency. Thank you, Senator Duckworth. With that, members, we stand in recess.
Greetings.
So it ended.
This portion of it has recessed. Correct. Yes.
Okay, so we will join back again. Any final thoughts before we sign off?
It's very interesting politics. I think there are a number of Senate-led committees that are a little bit surprised, or were feeling maybe a little bit surprised about the deal that was struck on Monday, and so they're having to work in a different way than what they, I believe, originally thought they were going to have to do when they got to this point of the session. And so there are multiple push-pull factors on Chair Chamberlain's time because he's involved in other bills on other committees. And Senator Eichhorn, who is really the number two on the Senate side for the E12 Finance and Policy Committee, is unavailable. So now we're working with Senator Duckworth, who, as he indicated, is kind of a third string, the backup to the backup. And I'm guessing he might not have the latitude to make certain commitments without going through the majority
I
chair.
think I think I have some audio issues, but let's connect back later. But glad to have you on AmericaTV.me, monitoring what's going on in the E12 committee. Uh, we are monitoring these issues that are important to the community and hope that $1 billion that has been put into this committee serves our ALANA BIPOC students well, and we'll be keeping track on it. So thanks for watching AmericaTV.me, powered by you, and have a great Minnesota day till we meet next time.
Thank you, Dr. Corey. Take care.